What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do two looks with the new HAUS Laboratories Stupid Love eyeshadow palette. I'm actually really excited for this palette because this is the first time we have seen like a very colorful moment from HAUS Laboratories, and I'm excited to see how they do it. A lot of people, when this brand first launched, were a little bit disappointed in the fact that they didn't feel like the makeup was like out there and representative enough of Lady Gaga's makeup. It's definitely an exciting thing to see from the brand and makes me a little bit more excited to see what they have in store for us down the line. I actually really like the formulation of most of their products. Like the liquid eyeshadows I think are bomb, and I really like their lip liners. So I think the quality is usually there. It's just a matter of maybe they need to spice it up a little bit for some people. Before we get into it today, I just want to say a couple of quick things. First of all, thank you guys so much for your kind comments on my last video about losing Charlie. I know that I was like a little bit emotional, and I still am. Honestly, like I just said that sentence and I still feel sad and want to cry a little bit on camera, but I'm not going to, because like every day that passes, I kind of like get my shit together a little bit more. But yeah, thank you guys so much again for all of the kind things that you said. I cannot even begin to express how much I appreciate you guys, and appreciate you, first of all, being very understanding about me like taking a little bit of time to myself, but also just for being so kind and taking the time to like write those comments. Like so many of them were so thoughtful and like really like helpful to me. Like it was really, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys more than you can ever possibly know. Also, I just wanted to take a moment. If you're the type of person who like comes to my videos and gets upset that I talk too much about like life stuff in the intro, go to the description. There's a timestamp in there and just go. You don't need to stay here, but I need to tell this story because I gotta get off my chest, because I don't even know how to compute the fact that this fucking happened to me this morning. Guys, I woke up this morning and I made my coffee, and while it was brewing, I went to go pee, and there was a fucking bat in my toilet. It was hanging upside down from the rim of my toilet. I cannot even begin to tell you how, first of all, mind blown I was. How did it get in here? Why was it in the toilet of all places? What if I peed on it? Would it have bit my ass? I can't. And it was alive, and it has been returned to the wild, and it's fine because I don't want to hurt it. It's not its fault that it was here. But what a bat. There was a bat in my I went to pee and there was a bat in my toilet. So as you can see, this week my life has been a roller coaster of emotions, both sadness and also terror now, because there was a fucking bat in my toilet. I mean, I live close to the woods, but Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? Needless to say, I think that a little bit of makeup therapy will be good for all of us today. I don't know about you, but definitely for me. Please leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second to do that, because it's very helpful to me. We can make it one of those cheesy Facebook things, like 1 like equals 1 less bat in Nicole's toilet. Also, if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe for more videos where we do makeup just like this. And also, I tell you about creatures that have crawled into different parts of my life. Really, think about it though. Like, what if it bit my ass? What do now? What do when a bat bites your ass? You go to the hospital. That's what you do. As always, both looks will be timestamped in the description down below, and I will link all of the available products in the description as well. I'll list every product that I use. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment. I try to get back to as many of them as possible, and I think that is all I need to say before we get started. I mean, like, it was enough. I think it was enough. So let's just get into look number 1 with the HAUS Laboratories Stupid Love eyeshadow palette. Love the packaging on this, by the way. Super cute, very stylish. I'm into it. Okay, let's get into it. For the first look with this palette, for some reason, I don't know why, but my mind is telling me to just ignore these. I only want to dip into the blues. Like, I could really do without this whole, maybe that shade, but like that whole portion of the palette, snooze fest. I'm not into it. So what I'm saying is we're about to do 2 looks that are blue as shit. So to begin this process of putting blue everywhere, I'm gonna go into the shade Enigma on a BH number 6. I'm gonna put this through the whole crease, and then we're gonna blend more blues into that. And for the first one, I think we're gonna do like a very classic glam kind of a cut crease sort of a moment. I haven't done anything like that in a couple of weeks, and I feel like I'm in the mood for it. I've got the taste for it back in my mouth again, and I'm ready. So I'm gonna put that through the entire crease area and then start blending it toward the brow. I think the shade will be a good transition because of the fact that I'm gonna use the bright cobalt blue and the teal, and I think both of those will blend out into this one pretty well. Initial first impression here is that that looks okay, but it feels a little bit dusty. Like I can see some product puffing up into the air already as I'm doing it. See, I don't know if you can see there. Look at it go. Look at it puff. Well, now I guess we have a little winged out side there. So that's what we're doing. I was just trying to demonstrate, but wound up creating that shape, so oops. I'm gonna take a clean blending brush and just blend the edge of that out. So this shade is pretty light, so it doesn't show a ton, but I can tell already that a lot of the coverage from that is blending away very easily, and it's making me a little tiny bit concerned for the brighter colors that we're about to use. On a Sigma E36, I'm gonna go into the color Sign. Is that how you say that? I don't really know a whole lot about Lady Gaga and like her music and all that stuff. Please don't get mad at me. It's not because I don't like her. I'm just like really ill-informed about pop music in general. So if that's not how you say it, or I mispronounce anything in here, I'm sorry, Gaga, I'm sorry. I really liked the telephone video. So I'm gonna start working that bright blue through the front half of the crease. Ooh, that looks, I mean, pretty potent. Okay, that's not dusty so far. Okay, that blue is actually really beautiful, and I am really impressed. I'm also gonna grab a clean Sigma E36 because I own 4 of them now, because one time I lost them and I was so devastated at the loss that I just decided that I needed to have a bunch of them just in case. So I'm gonna take a clean one and I'm gonna go into the shade Peace, and I'm gonna use that shade through the rest of the crease right to the outside. And with my BH number 6, I'm gonna go back over the edge and blend that again. Those two are really good shit. A little bit of fallout, but nothing crazy. But like in general, the pigmentation, damn. So now that this is down, what I'm going to do is cut the inner half. And today I'm going to use the ABH eye primer to do this. Like I always say, this primer, I don't like it for priming my whole eye, but it does work pretty damn well as far as doing a cut crease is concerned. So I'm going to use it for that because I have run out of the lighter shade of my Urban Decay concealer. There's more coming. I actually bought the pure white one so I can start using it for cut creases because I thought that'd be a good idea. So stay tuned for that. But for today, we're using this. So I'm gonna take my NABLA cut crease brush. I'm gonna load it up with that primer, and I'm going to just cut the inner portion and probably bring it out about halfway. So I'm gonna take my MAC 242 brush and I'm gonna go into the white shade, which is called 911. I'm gonna pack that over the inner corner of that cut crease. Seems pretty good so far, not bad. And now when I get to the middle portion of the eye, I'm gonna mix a little bit of 911 with a little bit of the color Peace, which was this turquoise that we used on the outer half, and use that mixture of those two shades to start blending it in toward the outer corner, because I kind of want it to be, I almost said like a sunset, which is so dumb because they're blue, but you know what I mean? Like I just want that gradient of color, that soft gradation. And then as I get toward the outer corner, using just the color Peace by itself. I'm gonna pick more of that white up on a MAC 217 and use that to blend a little bit more because it's a little bit more fluffy, and these shades are kind of like sticking together. They don't want to blend for some reason. So I put down a lot of powder, not because I was seeing a lot of fallout, because I actually really wasn't, but because sometimes I find with a look like this, it's like very structured and bright and it's like a lot on the eyes, I kind of like to lean into brightening my under eye area a little bit more, just because it makes it look a little bit more complete, and also because if I'm drawing attention to my eye area, I want to brighten that up. So I use the ABH vanilla powder. I think this is vanilla. The fuck are you called? Yeah, vanilla. I find that this is a very, very brightening powder, so for this purpose it works very well, but I didn't bring it all the way up underneath the eye because I want to leave a little bit of stickiness of that concealer so that the eyeshadows have like a base to stick stick to a little bit more. So I'm gonna go back into that shade Sign, that cobalt blue, on a BH number 7, and I'm gonna put that underneath the whole lower lash line, except I'm not gonna bring it past the edge. Then I'm gonna start blending it into the color Peace on my Sigma E36 and use that to blend out into the outer corner area. And I'm gonna use a clean blending brush to blend the edge of that blue and just soften it out a bit. For the waterline, I'm gonna grab my Urban Decay pencil in the color Chaos. I think this cobalt will pair really, really well. So I'm gonna put that in the waterline to continue this bluish goodness. Finally, I'm gonna grab my LUXE 111 Mini. I'm gonna go into the shade Light Up, which looks kind of like a topper shade. It looks like it has a little bit of a blue shift to it. It's a shimmer. It's the first shimmer we're using, by the way. I'm gonna pack that onto that brush. I'm gonna wet it with a little bit of setting spray, and I'm gonna use it to highlight the lower portion of the inner corner. Bringing a little bit of that on top of the blue to just blend those together. There's nothing wrong with that shade, it's fine, but I do think that it's a little bit lackluster as far as what I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more bright, but it's okay, we'll make it work. I finished my skin and I put on House of Lash's iconic Luxe, and for the lip, I feel like I want to do something like a matte nude-ish, a matte neutral-ish tone, just to not take away too much from the eyes, but I don't want it to be like too like starkly nude either. So I'm going to use the Melt lip liner in the color Foxy, and then I am going to fill that in with the Fenty Stunna lip paint in the shade Uncuffed. I think this will have like enough of a color to still be a lip, but like keep a cool undertone and just mesh well with the whole thing. I think. We'll find out. Maybe it'll look like shit when I put it on. And if that's the case, then I'll just wipe it off and you guys will never know. And this is the first look. So for the second look, I want to also go into the blue shades, but this time I want to make it like deep and smoky with the blues. So I'm gonna make a really ballsy move, and I'm going to go into the shade Sign and use this as a transition shade. It is not going to be an easy transition to work with, but if we blend it enough, I think it's gonna be a really cool way for like the deep, almost black colors that I'm gonna use to blend out into it. You know what, let's just do it and hope for the best, shall we? Okay, I'm gonna put that right through the crease, just gonna pack it on initially and then blend it upward toward the brow and then pack more on if we need to. I'm gonna take my BH number 7 and use that to blend the edge, just using that smaller brush so I have a little bit more control over the situation, because this is a really bright shade and this could end up like all the way up to my forehead very, very easily. And now that that transition shade is down, for the lid, I'm going to go with very deep shades, and I felt like maybe it was appropriate to go in with one of the liquid shadows from HAUS Laboratories as a base, because I really do like the formula of these, and I have one that is on the deep side. So this is the shade Chained Ballerina. I'm going to use this over the whole lid and just bring it up like right to that blue. With that base down, I'm going to go into the shade Motion on a MAC 242S brush, and I'm going to pack this on the outer portion and the inner portion of the lid over that color. It's a very, very deep shade, but it has a little bit of blue to it as well. I'm gonna bring that right up to the crease, and then I'll wind up blending it into the blue shade that we put down as a transition. So I'm gonna take my Sigma E36, I'm gonna go into the shade Sign again, and I'm gonna use that shade on that little baby itsy bitsy witsy brush to blend that together more seamlessly. And for the center of the lid, I'm gonna grab that MAC 242 again, but this time I'm gonna go into the shade Fun Tonight, and I'm gonna put that right in the center. Then on my ring finger, I'm gonna go into the shade Alice. I'm gonna pick up a tiny bit of that, and I'm gonna use that just to highlight the middle of what we just put down there, just to bring a little bit more texture and to bring the center of that lid forward. I concealed and I powdered, and now I wanna start working on my lower lash line. So, I think we're going deep and sultry with this, if you couldn't tell. So I'm gonna do my waterline with a black. I'm just gonna grab the ABH Darkside pencil, run that through the whole waterline, and I'm gonna bring a little bit of that under the lash line as well, just to give us something to smudge some color into, sort of like what we did with the liquid shadow on the top, except in a smaller surface area. I'm gonna grab a NABLA lash line smudger brush and use that to smudge around that liner appropriately enough. Next, I'm going to take my BH number 7 again and go back into that cobalt blue shade Sign and use that to smoke out the lower lashes. I think this is where that powder under the eyes is going to come in quite handy because this is giving me a bit of fallout. Not a ton considering that it's a matte blue. However, matte blue all over your cheeks is difficult to deal with unless you have powder to sweep away. On my LUXE 111 Mini, I'm going to go back into the shade Motion and I'm going to bring that along where we put down that liner and just use that same small Sigma brush to blend that into the blue again. I'm going to take a small pencil brush and I'm going to go into the shade Alice that we used on the center of the lid and I'm going to use that as an inner corner highlight. I'm going to use it first dry and then we'll see. Do we need to wet it? We'll find out. Ooh, no, I don't think we need to wet that at all. That looks gorgeous on its. Wow, that color's beautiful. I really like that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So pretty. So I finished up my skin and I added lashes. These are the House of Lashes Siren Double Lash. I felt like they were appropriate because they are nice and thick and fluffy, but they also are round, so they kind of reflect the round shape of this smoky eye we've got going on, and I think they complement it lovely. For the lip, I'm gonna go with a matte nude again. It's just a matte nude kind of a week around here. But this time I'm going to do a little bit more something in the warm side of things. So I'm going to line my lips with the NABLA Touch Me Lip Pencil. I don't know if they make this anymore. I can't find it anywhere and I only have a little schnubbin left and it upsets me very much if I'm being quite frank. And I'm going to fill the middle in with Dose of Colors, my main liquid lipstick. This was from the Desi Katie Friendcation collab. And this is the second look. Okay, so we've done 2 looks and I have gathered my thoughts on this palette. I think overall the formula is really good. Like, better than I was expecting from a new brand for sure. At least this brand is new to eyeshadow, you know what I mean? I know they've been around for like a year now, but this is their first eyeshadow palette and it's like way better than I was anticipating it would be. I feel like the lighter shade Enigma that I used in the first look did come off a little bit dusty. Like I said, you could kind of see it dusting up into the air. That's not very uncommon for very like white based pastel type shades, so I'm not super surprised that that shade was the one that had that issue. The white shade 911 is a very, very potent white, which is really nice because a lot of times whites are not like as pungent as you want them to be, but I did find that that shade in particular was a little bit difficult to blend with the other colors. I also felt like the shimmer shade Light Up was a little bit lackluster. I felt like I put it on and it did absolutely nothing, but the other shimmers that I used in here were stunning. So I don't think that it's a problem with the shimmers overall. It's just that one was kind of like, what? But the shades Sign, Peace, Fun Tonight, Motion, Alice, all gorgeous. I really like the way this look turned out. I actually really like the way the first look turned out as well. I feel like there was a little tiny bit of patchiness in the outer crease area when I watched the footage back, but not so noticeable that I think it's an issue, and I think that if I went back in and just kind of packed over it one more time, it would have been fine. I just don't think that I see any excitement or purpose with these shades over here. I understand the idea of having some warm tones in there to balance it, but for some reason, I don't know, I was not drawn to using that side of the palette with these. I feel like I would only use this side of the palette if I wanted a neutrals look. I don't feel like it marries well with the cool tones. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that, but just for my personal preference, I would have rather seen another like 5 or 6 really fun bluish colors than to add those neutrals in just to, it seems like they add those neutrals in just to appease people and be like, here's some neutrals. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know, did you pick this up? Are you interested in it? Do you have any opinions about HAUS laboratories in general? Because I know a lot of people have very strong opinions about it. Personally, I wasn't like super expecting anything crazy when they first first came out, so I was just very happy that the formulas performed well, which is still the case for the most part. But if you're one of the people who think that this line in general could be more Gaga-esque, then let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you found it helpful, if you enjoyed it, if you just feel like helping me out, because I really appreciate it. And if you're new around here, lurking around, you enjoyed the video, go ahead and subscribe, because I would love to have you around for future videos. And if for some reason you would like to keep up with me between these videos, Instagram's the place to do that. I am at Miss Quinface over there, and I would love to have you. I update my stories a lot. I post on there less often than I probably should, but you know what? The stories though, that's what's up. That's what I do on Instagram these days anyway. I mostly just watch people's stories. That is all for today. I am going to go photograph this look and probably spend some time hanging out in my backyard. I feel like this is a lot of makeup for hanging out in the backyard, but you know what? It's my yard and nobody can stop me. Even if it wasn't my yard, still nobody could stop me. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to hang out and talk about makeup with me today. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one.